Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel at VAG Technic Garage in West Midlands, Dudley, UK, the great UK, when we have no sun and the rain is here for 24/7. So I already feel like a vampire because we are in this black hole garage. So behind me we have an Audi RS4 V8.5 with a 4.2 V8 engine. Sometimes when it was running, producing incredible 444 bhp. For those who are watching us know this is not the RS4 what we've been building engine for. This is a different vehicle with much higher mileage, and it was bought from someone as a spares or repairs. So the gentleman who bought it wanted to have an RS4 in a fully functional mode, of course, as usual, as any car really. And the whole story behind it is whoever owns the car before him had it done, had the engine done somewhere, and somehow they have a bit of a different opinion how it shouldn't been done. So the garage who was working on the car didn't give him any warranty, and what I was told, the engine was only running for a couple of minutes and it seized up. So it was fully built. There should be new timing chains, new head gaskets, cylinder heads, and so on and so on and so on. And I'm really hoping we will find everything new except the engine is seized up. So obviously in this video, what we are very good at, we will be removing the engine, we'll be stripping it fully down, and we will go through a process of finding what's wrong with it, what went wrong, why it went wrong, what needs replacing, and what we actually need to put it back together. So enjoy the time lapse. We will drop the engine down and then I'll show you what we find, what we didn't find. So let's get to it.
I'm trying to get it all right now. Everybody worry about the crown being. Look, homie, I'm the man right now. Talking to a peon, kind of time we on. Jump roll like the kind of take eons. Got a little buzz, it's time to go beyond. Can't look back, no time to hit rewind. Yeah, she wants to do S-class. I'm like, boo, you must ask. They pour way too much in your glass. Just move your hips like a whole up class. Hit the gab, I talk that gab. Strut like up, and I walk that shit. When I'm up, that's it. I'ma start living reckless. Get that bag, I'ma walk like this. Yeah, I'ma walk like this. Hit that lane, I'ma walk like this. Walk in the spot, but they all get lit. Tell them on flow, let me talk my shit. Every song bang when they drop in hit. Said on the man, post stop, no miss. Over your head, next time, don't slip. Play your part, better read that script. Yeah, I'ma walk like this. Yeah, I'm steady focused on money now. I'm trying to count to 100 down. That's daily. Brady pay me. M's and M's, no Slim Shady. Make account going so crazy. Still live it up when I'm over 80. Flying, I'm hotter than Hades. Middle fingers up to the ones when I hate me. My shit, every song bang when they drop in hit. Said on the man, post stop, no miss. Over your head, next time, don't slip. Play your part, better read that script. Yeah, I'ma walk like this. Yeah, I'm steady focused on money now. I'm trying to count to 100 down. That's daily. Brady pay me. M's and M's, no Slim Shady. Commas in the bank, that's all I need. Business first and chill after. Set to cruise, but not the actor. Work hard, let the money stack up while y'all broke like a stress fresh. My God.
Okay guys, so update. Strip down, sort of. We still have to take the gearbox off and quite loads of things. So far, what we can say, there's definitely new camshaft adjusters with new timing chains, brackets and tensioners, looks like it. Somebody was definitely working on the engine in a limited sort of workspace, I would say, because on the paperwork it says there was an engine rebuilt, but how do you rebuild engines without taking the heads off? These heads were 100% not removed from the car. I have to check the invoice what the guy sent me, but according to information what I have, the engine was only running for a few minutes, and I don't think that it can build up carbon in a few minutes. So the valves look like this. Just don't think so. It was definitely something going on with the top part of the cylinder head, because this gasket is new, unless... Okay, it's not new, it broke off, it's hard. But yeah, so this gasket is definitely not new, so nobody can see how it's failing apart now. So I thought it was replaced, but obviously it wasn't. You can see how the rubber is cracking now. So, change of a plan, that wasn't done. But whoever done the timing, it might be in the correct position. The engine is 100% seized up, I can't turn the crank left or right. So basically somebody was doing some markings which I don't like. The crank should be in there. You should put the timing bolt so the crank is holding. Also, there is a locking pin going from this side, I think, if I remember correctly. So if you're going to turn the engine this way, the camshafts should line up, sort of. However, if you're looking at the camshaft adjusters, somebody put white paint. I don't know why. But the camshaft adjusters have these cuts. And the cut is over there. And the cut should be in this cap, which is on the cylinder head, or in between this cap. So if we will turn the cams this way, very, very slightly it will be out of timing in this position, and this will never get over there by turning it by 15 degrees, let's say, not even that. The other side is completely out, so this should be in between there, and that should be in between there, and the camshaft should go a bit over there, so that will never get to the point where it should be. This is not a major issue actually, but it's not done as it should be done. Next up, what I want to tell you is whoever was working on the engine was like, I don't know, but obviously if we do something like this, we check everything and we tell everyone like what we found and this and that. So this is the catalytic converter, bank 1, cylinders 1 to 4. You can see it start cracking slowly inside. If we will have a look from the front face of the catalytic converter, you can see how the catalytic converter is basically falling apart inside. I'm not sure if you're gonna see it. There you go, see? So the bottom of the cut is definitely gone. So that will reduce the flow of the catalytic converter, and obviously it can do some major damage. But bank 2, which is cylinders 5 to 8, the catalytic converter is basically completely fell apart and it's blocking the exhaust in this part. So how it was shuddering and shaking inside of this huge tube, it fell apart, slowly get into the back of the exhaust over there, where's the elbow, and it's creating a plug in the exhaust. So even if the engine failed and they will rebuild it again and again and again and again and again, this will be creating a plug, and the only way how to do it is remove the engine again. But they didn't figure out in the other workshop that the catalytic converter fell apart. Also, a bit of a hit-up thing, like engine mount is gone. The other one is not any better. And yeah, I don't know, obviously we will price it all up. There's definitely things what was done to it, but it will still need, I think, a crankshaft. Don't know what's the bottom end like. Don't know what's the pistons like. Don't know what's the engine block like. There is definitely a new oil filter in there, but this was oil for rich people with the metallic. You can see the metal bits inside. So also, it stings like a gearbox oil. It's really strange. As soon as I opened up the oil filter and I was draining the oil out, it stings really badly. I have the oil what you drain out over here. This is the oil what came out, and you can see it's like a gearbox oil, but it's really thin. It's not even lubricating properly. Obviously, how I'm rubbing it between my fingers, I can feel it's getting stuck, so the lubrication is like really poor. I don't know what it is, but it stings really badly. It reminds me of gearbox oil, but I don't think it's a gearbox oil. Anyways, obviously we will continue. We still have loads of things what needs to be stripped down. So the plan is we're gonna hang the engine block on the engine holder, take the gearbox off. We're gonna put the subframe off, put it back onto the chassis because that will be going out. We need the ramp, and we have to investigate what we need to build it back together and give the new owner the price. So let's continue. here we are again 24 hours later. So normal condition after strip down, everything is in the boxes. 24 hours ago, this used to be a one-piece car, let's say, which was a non-runner, but it still looks like a car. At the moment, it's a puzzle in the boxes. And I must say, I've seen the invoices, what the owner of the vehicle after he purchased it sent me over. So there is a proof that something was done, and obviously I can confirm someone was digging in the engine. And unfortunately, it didn't run for too long because the mileage has only 1 more mile on the odometer than what's on the invoice actually. So probably the 1 mile was added by pushing the car on the recovery and pushing it around the workshop. But what I was told, the engine actually died directly on the ramp after the 12 grand repair was done. So the condition, what was changed, what wasn't changed, how it was done. In my eyes, this was waste of time and money, what was done here, because for £12,000 we are actually rebuilding the whole engine, not just the part towel like a bottom end rebuild. And as well, whoever done the job was invoicing a full timing chain kit, but this tensioner wasn't definitely done. And there were some other things what I don't really like how it was done. And the main question is, what kind of oil was used to run the engine after all this was done? Because that oil, what I drain out, is sort of like greenish and is not thick enough, and it smells like a gearbox oil. So I have no idea what happened. It's too late to actually find out what happened. All we know at this particular time that engine block, what we were hoping we can use, we can't use it because the main end bearing actually spun. So there's a damage on the bearing number 1 in the front of the engine. So that can't be done, unfortunately, which is a bit of a shame because the engine block looks really good. From inside, it is clean. The walls are not damaged or scratched, so a bit of a shame. The good news is we can use actually almost everything. By almost everything, I mean like accessories like gears, air conditioning, oil filter housing, rocker covers. The 2-cylinder heads looks good to me, so we can use those. And before we actually start working on this RS4, the owner was in contact with us. We have quite lots of phone conversation going on, and from the previous experience we did give him a rough estimate price, like if we do something like this, if the valves drop down or whatever, what's the sort of price to do it all up. So after we strip it down, we did told them we can't use the block, so we'll be looking for another engine. Probably the best option is to get a spares or repairs engine, what we know, like the valves drop into the cylinder or something easy happened to it. But I was looking for a second-hand engine, which is something between 7, 8, 9, 10,000 pounds, and nobody actually know what's going inside. So that's a not really good situation. And yeah, I did find an engine, spares or repairs, and someone already took the cylinder head off, so we can see the damage, how the valve drop in, and obviously it will need 1 new liner, but the rest of the block looks sort of fine. And also the crankshaft should be fine and the whole bottom end should be reusable. So that's what we're aiming for, just do 1 line and put it back together. We have 2 heads, they need to be fully refurbished. They look quite fresh, but I'm not sure about the springs for the valves. We have to check them if they are new, replaced, or what happened to them. But I don't think the heads were ever done because they were definitely not skin. There's a small edge on the side of the cylinder head. So from that point of view, I don't think somebody was doing something with them. When it comes to the rest of the engine, it looks pretty clean, like I said, from inside, but however, I don't know what happened. This is the piston, number 1, and the other one damage was number 5. You can see how the bearing spun. So this is the bottom of the con rods, and you can see both of the bearings actually spun. These are the shells from it. I don't think the engine was running for too long at high RPM because all the debris didn't have time to circulate in the oil system and make any kind of extra damage. This is the tensioner, what I was mentioning, what definitely wasn't replaced with the chain. And this is the crankshaft, what caused all the damage to the block. You can see here I tried to use a very gentle chisel to take the bearings off, just to have a look if there's something underneath, to find like what might happen, but it's fully welded onto the crank, so we can't even check it. The reason why the conrod bearings actually seized up is that the oil feed from this side wasn't lubricating the conrod bearing, and that's why both of them actually seized up from all the heat. Rest of the crank looks good. I don't see any additional damage, scratches or whatsoever. So it is a bit of a shame, because I thought when I seen the engine from inside that we will be able to reuse it and just do the crank or whatever, but unfortunately it is what it is. So these are the springs for the valves. You can see you still have the yellow markings on them, so they look fresh, but we have to remove them and compare the length with the new spring and decide if you're going to replace them or keep them. And of course the engine block. So the reason why we can't reuse the engine block is right over here. You can see how the lock from the bearing actually spun, and it done this damage on the block, same as the bottom side. The other questionable thing is that from the factory they put these stamps from the other side, and obviously you can see here this should be U, this is probably G, this is U again, but they're not stamped from the factory. This looks like somebody took a nail and just mark it over there. So I'm not sure what was happening with the bottom end, and it is very questionable, but definitely we are not brave enough to use it anyways because of that damage and some dodgy manipulation with the bottom end. So the last thing what we want to do is build up the whole thing, and it will seize up on the ramp. So we did build few of these V8s. They are common to fail. Most of them just have a problem with the cylinder head, that the valve will drop down. Not a common fault. Even this one have the failed catalytic converter, which is questionable again. Why would somebody take an engine out, do a 12 grand job and don't check the catalytic converters when they're fully clogged up, or at least one of them is clogged up? And like I said, by my opinion, this was a huge waste of time and money, and everything can go in the bin actually. So I don't know why it went for the repair, what was the purpose of the repair, what was the purpose for the 12 grand bill, but obviously it ended up in a very sad condition. So like I said, we are waiting for the second-hand engine now, which should be coming probably tomorrow or Thursday, I don't know. It was dispatched, but we have to wait for it. That engine will be fully stripped down. We will check the condition. Once it's here, we have to drop everything to the machine shop to double check if there's no problem with the crankshaft, the cylinder heads, block, whatever we can use for it. And we'll be building another engine from all this pile of boxes. So I will be probably filming the whole process for the owner, so he knows what was done, how we get it done, what was replaced, and so on and so on. And we'll keep you updated. So that's all from this video, guys. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.